All right. So again, I just wanted to say, because I hadn't started the recording, so I'm just going to extend my gratitude again to Ron and what he does. And, we want to thank you all for your patience, over this last week as we've been having some technical difficulties in getting these calls going. So elevatevolunteers.com, if you'd like to help out with that, then you can. And here's what I wanted to talk about today. I wanted to talk about events. What is the process of events? And I'm going to hit a lot on Utah events because I know our system the best, but please understand that wherever you are across the country, you'll have the opportunity to look at this from the perspective of your market and the events that you hold. And really what I wanted to focus on is having a system and understanding what your system is, okay? What you're going to take people through. So what is a good first exposure? And let's just go to this week. What is a good first exposure? Well, there's some options for you, okay? So we have a house tour in Spanish on Tuesday. This is a great first exposure for you to invite your guests to. On Wednesday, we have a house tour with Raul Campos. Great first exposure to send people to and to bring your guests to as well. On Thursday, we have our 4 Pillars presentation. Great first exposure, great way to introduce people to this business, okay? Now, that is it this week for first exposure. So we have 3 opportunities for first exposures. It's actually 4 if you count the fact that on Thursday we also have the Spanish 4 Pillars as well. So our Spanish registration right here. And actually we took the Spanish registration off. Okay, so our registration in Espanol, we just realized it was causing a lot of confusion. So if you're inviting somebody down for a first exposure, just know they have the opportunity to listen to it in English. They have the opportunity to listen to it in Spanish on Thursdays here in Utah. Okay, so you want to get somebody to a good first exposure event. Now, another thing that would be a good first exposure event, if I go backward in the calendar, and I can tell you about what's coming up as well, but if I go backward here, when we had our Seller Finance Notes Intensive, right? This is a good first exposure, okay? It's a great first exposure opportunity right here to get people to a intensive. So just think for yourself, what is this person seeing for the first time? Would I invite them to, for example, a funding workshop? No, I would not, okay? Would I invite them to the onboarding? No, I would not. Those are just something that I wouldn't do. Now, for those of you guys that understand the Utah calendar, on Thursdays, we have now our 4 Pillars presentation and we have our student registration, okay? So any guests, you're going to register in your 4 Pillars event. Any of you that are IMAs that are coming to any of our second exposures, you're going to register yourself in the student registration so you can go upstairs and participate in the study groups and all of those opportunities that we have on our Thursday nights. So a second exposure, what is a good second exposure? Well, the funding workshop is a great second exposure, okay? The funding workshop is really typically what we call as our 4 Pillars Part 2. And we have 2 opportunities for you to do that here in Utah. You can, on Thursday night, we do have a follow-up or a funding workshop that happens that's hosted by Dane Clark. We also have a Friday follow-up. Okay, we have a Friday second exposure. Now, typically we have house tours. House tours on Saturdays are a great first exposure, and we also now do in our house tours, we do a second exposure for folks that are there. It's like a funding workshop, but we go a little bit more into a deal analysis as well. So, map out and understand what events do you have in your market? What events do you have going on a consistent basis, okay? So you're going to look at this and you're going to say, okay, a house tour, great first exposure. If I have somebody coming for a second exposure, that's a great second exposure. Now, third exposure. What is a great third exposure? Well, we have a few options there as well. So on Thursday, here in Utah, we actually have our onboarding class. Our onboarding is just really sharing the different tools and resources that are available, the different systems that we have in place that empower people to go out there and succeed in their business. And so that's a good third exposure. You know what is another good third exposure? Our house tours. So our house tours that we have are a great third exposure. Another great third exposure is this Saturday we have our Super Saturday presentation. So our Super Saturday presentation is a great third exposure, maybe even a fourth exposure, somebody that's already a part of the business, and just make sure that you're building properly. Now, when I say that, when I say it's a good third or a fourth exposure, am I saying that this could not be a first exposure? Absolutely not. In fact, I've had people that enrolled from the Super Saturday as a first exposure, but you have to build for it properly. You want to set a proper expectation for the folks that you are bringing down to a Super Saturday as a first exposure. Let them know that they are going to see the referral side of our business. Let them know that they're going to be in a training as if they're already a part of the team. They're going to see behind the scenes from top income earners and how they've built their business and how they're making that happen. So those are some things that will get you and help you get to the next level, is understand the system and the flow of your business. Now, just to let you in, and this is something that I was working on and I was halfway through this morning and just ran out of time, is some of the events that we have coming up, okay, here in Utah, is on the 24th. We're going to be doing a special event, okay? We're going to be doing a special event. And on the 24th, we actually have an event that is going to be about finding your first or next real estate deal. So we're going to have some people here in our local marketplace in Utah that are really succeeding in having consistent deals and working on multiple projects at the same time, and they're just really good at finding deals. So myself, Mitch Nilsson, and one special guest that I have to confirm with before I can announce his name, but the guy is killing it in real estate. And so that is on the 24th here in Utah, if you guys would like to participate in that. I'm going to give you guys just a sneak peek into the upcoming month, and then you guys will see the calendar built out here in the next little while. So in March 3rd, let's see, March 3rd, I believe, is a house tour. And then on March 10th, we have our Super Saturday presentation. And let me just get to some of these things. Apologize, I'm getting blown up with text here still, folks. People are wondering what's going on with the call, and we are just doing our best here. Again, hats off to Ron. So we have our national conference coming up in March. Folks, a national conference. This is a big deal, okay? This is a huge deal, and this is something that I want to hit on. In fact, right now we have on the calendar so far, we have our national conference opportunity presentation, and I just want to highlight and help you folks understand that this is a great first exposure, second exposure, third exposure, fourth exposure. There's going to be over 1,000 people at this Thursday night event. So if you're going to be at the national conference, here's a little secret for you, and I'm letting you guys in on this early so that you know, so that you can use it to your benefit, and so that you can build for it. There's going to be an offer at this national conference opportunity presentation where if somebody enrolls as an IMA at that event, $125, they are going to be able to attend the Thursday and Friday of the national conference for free. Now, don't get upset. I know you spent more than that, and look at the big picture. Don't look at this from the small-minded, oh, I'm going to try and sneak my way in for a lower cost by signing up as an IMA. No. Don't get mad and say, well, they should have to pay what I paid. No. You don't understand. The health of our business, the health of Renatus, has to do with how many new folks we are enrolling, how many new students we are growing with, right? So this is an opportunity for you to grow your team, okay? To grow your team. I'm letting you in on a secret, right, that you should know about, because if you use it to your benefit, you can end up with some new team members. They can get an extreme amount of value by being with us for 2 days at the national conference. And I will tell you this right now, some of the most productive members of my team, some of the big players in my team, some of the people in my team that have brought such extreme value onto the leadership here locally, enrolled because of this offer, and later upgraded to their combo and got qualified and continue, to build their business. So think about that for a second. Because I was willing to use this type of an offer to help somebody get enrolled at a $125 price point, they enrolled as combo, got qualified. That's almost $30,000 right there. So that was a $30,000 decision right away, because as they enrolled and as they got qualified, and I don't know how much it's going to add up into the long run, because if you add up all the years and all the combos they enroll and all the $1,000 checks that I get on the side, right? People like Alden Sparks and Judy Fee, they enrolled because I got them to a national conference. So I want you to understand, if you're here in Utah, utilize this to your benefit. Invite people who are brand new guests so that they can take advantage of this offer. I would even prep them a little bit. I would let them know, hey, I've paid $275 or I've paid $325, depending on when you get your ticket in, right, for the national conference. I've paid, much more than what you're going to pay if you decide to enroll as an IMA. So come down and understand what we do, and just be prepared. There's going to be an offer that is really unique, and we only do this. This is a one-time thing, and you'll have the opportunity to take advantage of it and spend the next 2 days with us, hearing from millionaires, from 6-figure, 7-figure, even 8-figure income earners at this event. So at our national conference, there is an opportunity presentation happening that Thursday. Now, obviously, if you've got people in the pipeline that they're already getting enrolled, just have them pay the full price. Help them understand the value, that they don't want to miss out on Thursday's training. They don't want to miss out on the awards banquet, which obviously if these people enroll on Thursday as IMAs, they're not going to get access to that. They can't come to the Thursday training. They can't come to the awards banquet on Friday night, but they are going to get those 2 full days of training, which is power packed. I want to emphasize this for you folks. Those people who have guests in the room on this Thursday event will make money. Okay? You will make money. Even though we don't get paid on somebody enrolling as an IMA, somebody enrolls in as an IMA and they stay with us for 2 days, there's very little chance that they're not going to end up becoming members of the team and buying their education and probably, starting off their business on the right foot, and also getting qualified in the next couple of months, even if it's in the next year, even if it takes them 2 years to get qualified. Think about that for a second. Are you okay with an extra $30,000? We'll call it 29 if you guys want to be, more accurate. You guys okay with another $29,000 over the next year, over the next 2 years, if it takes somebody that long to do it because they just take off on their real estate? Yeah, but guess what? It could happen in a matter of a couple of months, right? It could happen in a matter of a couple of weeks, depending on how aggressive that person is. So start thinking who you have in your friends list right now. So start thinking of who you have, in your clubs that you're associated with right now. Start thinking of the family members that you've always wanted to have them just see the inside and the behind the scenes of this, and they've showed interest, but you've just never got them to anything. This opportunity right here, the National Conference Opportunity Presentation, on that Thursday. This, folks, could put your business at the next level. It could enroll the next top income earners in your team. So I just want to emphasize the use of this. And if you're here in Utah, watch for this calendar to get built out through March and through April. But I really wanted to help you guys understand first exposure presentations, second exposure presentations, third exposure presentations. Have a list, have a flow, have a system, and make sure that you understand that nobody is ever going to close your business for you, okay? So even though we have this system, first exposure, second exposure, third exposure, and even though sometimes people will see this and they'll say, I'm ready to enroll, for the most part, you're still going to close your own combos. So be willing to ask somebody for the order. Be willing to ask somebody to step up the plate. Make sure in your system and in your flow of inviting people to events, one of those events is you sitting down with somebody and asking for the order. If you don't ask for the order, it's unlikely you're going to get it. In fact, I don't know if I've ever gotten an order that I didn't ask for and, put in the system. There's been a few, I guess, here and there that somebody else did it for me, but for the most part, it was me making that happen. So, folks, I have to jump on to another leadership call, and we're going to get these technical difficulties figured out as far as the Zoom is concerned. We appreciate your patience in hanging with us here, and I will make sure I get this recording uploaded, and so that way the people that did not get the text, the people that were not able to get on this call, will still be able to listen to this recording. So thanks for those of you that are here, and get out there and make it an amazing Thursday. It's game night, folks. Make sure you get out there and make it happen.